Hey guys, hello, and welcome back to my channel, Sweet Pink Home. A while back ago, I did a video about decluttering my fantasy self, and I've decided to do a video about decluttering my fantasy husband. My first fantasy, and I'm going to do 4 of them actually. My first fantasy about my husband is that he would come home after work, jump right into the kitchen, and help me with dinner. And that is just not reality, folks. And the reason it's a fantasy for me is because I hate to cook. I am not the cook of the family, that is for sure. He is. And so my fantasy for my husband is that he would come home from work and be like, "Oh honey, you need help in the kitchen? Sure, I'll take over and make dinner." Not happening. It's not reality. I'm not the best cook, but I do what I have to do to make my family happy. But that's a fantasy that I have of my husband, is that he would cook every night when he got off work, and that's just not reality. So, number 2 kind of intertwines with number 1, is that he would, my fantasy husband would be at home at 5:30 every day, and be able to make dinner and sit down and have dinner with us. Now, that is not reality. That's a fantasy, because he does not work a 9 to 5 job. He works like a 6 to 7, sometimes 8 o'clock at night job. And so a lot of times we have dinner without him, and his dinner is waiting for him. So that's another fantasy I have about my awesome husband, is that he would get off at 5:30, like the 9 to 5ers, and it's just not reality with the line of work that he does. So, now, number 3 for my fantasy husband is that when I feel an emotion, that he would automatically understand how I feel and be like, "Oh honey, I'm sorry that you feel that way, da 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 da." But the truth is, and he told me this a long time ago when we first got together, he said, "I'm not a mind reader, and I can't figure out what's going in your mind. So you have to tell me what's going on." So number 3 for my fantasy husband is that he would just kind of be able to read my mind, and he's not. He made that very clear in the beginning of our relationship. And I think that's a fantasy that a lot of people have, is that their spouses or their life partners, whatever, would be able to kind of get in their head and understand what they're saying or what they're thinking. And that's not necessarily the case. So that's a fantasy of mine, is that my husband could be a mind reader, and he's not. Because that would change a lot of things in our relationship, for sure, if he could read my mind and understand sometimes what I'm trying to say. Because a lot of times I get jumbled, like I am now. I'm just jumbling on. So, my fantasy husband, number 4, is that he would become a minimalist like me. And that's not reality for him. He likes his stuff, and I've learned to accept that. That is a fantasy for me. And I love my husband dearly. He is an amazing, awesome man, and I am very blessed to have him. He is an amazing, involved father, and so often nowadays there's a lot of dads that really just aren't involved in their kids' lives because they're too busy working and providing and doing that sort of thing. So, these are my 4 fantasies that I have about my husband, but by no means do I want to put my husband down, because he's just awesome. And so, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Comment down below if you have any comments about what you think your fantasy husband or spouse, life partner, whatever, what you think they should be. So, these are just 4 of them. I'm sure I could go on and on about him and about myself and that sort of thing. So, be blessed, guys. Have a great day, and see you later. Bye.